And right now, folks, as we do each and every Monday at 3:15, we're going to jump over to our man, Steve Rhodes. You can check out Steve's outstanding program, The Trader's Edge, every market day, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, folks, in his daily newsletter, Mastering Probability. Every newsletter we have is a 30-day money-back guarantee. You want to try out Steve? Risk-free. You try him out for 30 days. The monthly is $149. You get that completely risk-free. You can save by signing up for the 6th month of the year. And when you sign up, folks, you get many great webinars right on your account page. Watch them as many times as you like. Steve Rhodes, good afternoon.
Hey, Tommy, how are you? Good to be with you today.
Good to be with you too, man. How's the Monday going?
Good. Lots of things to talk about. Maybe we could just kind of get right into it as far as the signals that are out there. So today, kind of a more important day than normal. And it's, as you mentioned, there's a number of different workshops that are included with my subscribership. And one of those workshops deals with the TD9 count pattern out there. It was developed by Tom DeMark. He doesn't focus as much on the nines necessarily as he does a couple of his other tools out there. But the nines are really amazing. So if you take a look at this, is the daily charts for the ESNQ, the Dow Equity Future Contract, and Russell. The ESNQ and YM each are going to complete their TD9 count patterns today. Now, the snapshot of this chart was taken maybe within the last hour or so. Their downside price target, or minimum downside price target, should be their oscillator and change lines. And those are below the levels of where we're trading, or at least they were as of half an hour ago. If we close below those areas, then we should see the ES mini move towards the 6782 area, the NQ towards the 25,358 area. 25,358, and the Dow 47,154. So TD9 count tops there. I didn't mention the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 does not have a topping pattern. For its equity future contract, at least that is. If we move over, we take a look at, Tommy, at the primary indices out here. So we start off by taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrials. We can see a TD9 count top is going to complete today. And folks, when I say complete today, what I mean is that for a TD9 count top to be valid, the high must take place on bars 8, 9, or the bar following bar number 9. So we have TD9 count tops. They are in place out here for most of these indices. They're just completing that pattern today, and they can make a higher high. To do that, in fact, I think we did that inside the NDX 100. A slightly higher high today. That has a TD9 count top that formed on Friday, as did the S&P. It's completing today. Now, the oscillator and change lines are very easy to read on this chart here, so folks could just take a snapshot. And you want to watch price as it moves down towards those levels. If price starts trading below those green oscillator and change line, that's going to be a signal to everybody that we should expect or anticipate lower price. Now, the interesting thing here, I don't know where the transports are trading right now, but if the transports close the day above 17,255.02, they're going to negate the TD9 count top that had formed on Friday out there. So, kind of the question is, well, what's the meaning of that? If we've got one that's being negated, are the others going to be negated? And that's always a possibility. These patterns aren't perfect, but we have so many of them. Take a look at each of the daily indices out here. The exception, again, being the Russell 2000, the only one of these 8 that doesn't have that top. If we go back to the transports, though, and I open that up, what we can see here is that the transports have an A to B equals CD pattern. So here's that TD9 count top. Again, it might negate that pattern today. And what one would be watching for is some type of bearish reversal candle. If we got that, then the transports would join in with the other TD9 count tops. Only here, it would be a sell the D point top. Tommy, any questions so far on anything that I've shared?
No, it's great stuff. And, the Russell's green today, of course. And
yeah.
I appreciate it so much, Steve, because, I'm sitting here last night. I'm working on the gold report myself, right? And what comes across is your update that you put out for subscribers. It was like maybe 5, 6 o'clock last night. Great update talking about some of this stuff, man. But I'm so excited you went through it because I was reading it last night, Steve. And this is the stuff you can get, folks. Sunday night, 5 o'clock. So I thought I'd add that in there. It's great stuff, man. Keep going for sure.
It was important because as I reviewed the charts, I kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit on Saturday as I was reviewing the chart patterns out there. And when I came back as a fresh look at it Sunday afternoon, what I really noticed was really the XLK. today. Just share that with folks out there. Just kind of go off script here. And the XLK is the top sector inside the S&P 500. So in my mind, I'm saying the S&P 500 is going to complete its T9 count top today. The ES Mini is going to do the same thing. The RSP, the equal-weighted ETF, is going to do the same thing. How can the S&P top when 37% of its weighting is in the technology sector, is in the XLK, because it did not have a top. It formed bar number 7 on Friday. And my conclusion was, after taking a look at all the charts and everything combined, was that we would likely see some type of push higher to get to bar number 8 in the technology sector. And in fact, we've done that today. So now that adds to this idea that we do have some type of top. Let me just continue here. I might restate a few things, but here are the equal-weighted ETFs, the QQQEW, the RSP, the EDOW, all of them, the equal-weighted instruments have tops for their daily time frame, and that's important too. Within the S&P 500, the XLF, the XLC, and the XLI, they have completed TD9 count tops. If we look down here in the lower left, you'll see the XLK, and that push higher this morning got us to bar number 8. Remember, I said on TD9 counts, the high needs to take place in bar 8. Bar 9 to the bar following bar number 9. Now there's still some requirements for the XLK to be able to confirm bar number 9, and that is that price needs to close above bar number 5 tomorrow. I don't have the exact price. It's right around 145, I believe. Maybe it might be 145 even, Stephen, out there. So tomorrow the XLK. So what this is telling us is that the market shouldn't fall off the face of the earth tomorrow, because if it closes below 145, the XLK's TD9 count top goes away, and it brings back that question like in the Russell 2000. If the markets are topping, how come these instruments, aren't topping? And especially XLK, because of the weighting, because I think it's 37%. I'm surprised I didn't put it up here, but it's some high percentage. Additional ETFs or sectors inside the S&P 500, the XLY and the XLI, they have TD9 count tops, and the SMH is not part of the sectors, but I just include that in as one of the charts because so many folks are interested. And that's going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count top today. The ETFs that tracks the MAG 7. MAGS, we don't look at that often enough, but you can see that formed bar number 9 on Friday. So that's completing a TD9 count top today. But the odd thing is, Tommy, I said the MAG 7's got a TD9 count top. When I look at the top 8 weighted NDX stocks out here, it's only Apple, Tesla, and Meta that are going to go ahead and complete TD9 count tops out there. So it's if I go back to the equal weighted ETFs out here, so these equal-weighted ETFs, we've gotten all the way back to the highs out here, just like we did in the weighted. So this is telling me that when we don't, if I go to the MAG 7, not all of them got topping signals or anything in the weighted areas, that whatever decline we're going to get is going to be pretty widespread. It's not just going to be, I don't think it's just going to be focused on just the top 10 instruments that we typically take a look at out there. During the last 25 years, from a seasonal perspective, these red arrows, they represent the days of September 7th through September 10th out there. Today, September 8th? We typically get a short-term top inside the S&P 500 that usually takes us down through about just before Christmas, between the 20th and 21st. So seasonally speaking, what we're seeing today, is in place out there. And lastly, I'll just say this. I do not believe that the Dow, I'll just switch over to the Dow. I know we've talked a lot about the S&P 500, has not made its major top at all. Why is that? Because today, Tommy, we made a new all-time high for the Dow in terms of Swiss francs, Chinese yuan, Canadian loonie. That is not how tops get made for U.S. indices out there.
Yeah, we got some dollar action, right? Currency action in the mix as well. Steve, great segment as always, man. Folks, you heard it. All right, Sunday night updates, each update in the morning. Great webinars out there. Check out Mastering Probability. Steve, thanks so much, man. Look forward to the show tomorrow.
Tommy. You bet.